I want to first off acknowledge you, Mike Koenigs, for bringing all these amazing people that were sort of floating around San Diego, came in for the social media marketing conference, and they're floating around. And you pulled out this magnet that pulled us all together.
We got
it's
so many amazing people
Friday
here today.
Night.
Yeah.
We get to be with all of you as well. So I get to see Allison every once in a while. It's just really cool.
I know.
So my goal is to do one of
these.
these a quarter. Actually, that has been one of my to get people together and connect and interview and share with people who are watching here. Josette Williams says, Lisa Sasevich.
Hello, Josette.
She says hi. So,
Okay,
what should we talk about?
Well, I want to talk about something kind of going off what Charmaine said. Stand for something in your brand will echo. Okay. Because as we were having our cocktails a little bit earlier, we said, what could we talk about? I said, you know what I want to talk about, Mike? I want to talk about what I appreciate about you. And in my family, before family dinners, we do a round of appreciations.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful prayer also.
It is,
I love
right? That. And also, I suspect a lot of people watching are entrepreneurs. And here's what I've learned, being one myself. If we don't acknowledge our own growth, it's sort of like we're sailing out to the sea, and the horizon is always it never gets closer. We're sailing and sailing. It still feels like we're the same distance away, right? Like we say we want 100 people, and then we get 100. We want 1,000.
Right.
We say we want it's all. But
it's
the way
if only syndrome.
Right. But the way that I have found to really see how far you've come is to look back at the shore. Because when you look back at the shore, right, you're
it's
like,
very
oh
profound.
my God, look, this is a deep thought.
I know.
This is a deep thought.
With Jack Handy from Saturday Night Live.
Yes,
I don't want to mock it. I don't want to mock it.
When you look back at the shore, you can see how far you've come. And since you and I have known each other a long time, right?
Or the rear view mirror of your car.
The rear view mirror, too. In your hot new car. What's that car you showed me? Your hot new car.
Yeah, it's the RS7.
This is a hot car.
Zooms.
It zooms big time.
But let's talk about looking back and feeling
what I appreciating. About you.
Okay.
So I appreciate how you are always reinventing yourself. You stay current. You take what bubbles up as your inspiration, and you build around it. And I just want to say, not all of us do that. I mean, I'm the antithesis. I've got my one thing that I do, and I do it over and over and over since 2009.
So well.
And I watch you creating shows, just having so much fun with your creation. So we're both having fun, but we do it in such a different way. So I would love to hear about your thoughts on reinvention, because for me, you're the king of reinvention.
Like what goes on in your head.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I have a couple guiding principles, and I want to do a quick shout out to just look at what David's doing right now. He's like, who is this, right? You can't tell because of the layers, right?
Looks like
it's about open space, dark space, layers and shadows, and you can't tell, right? And it's almost ghastly at first, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I just, like I said, this is one thing I appreciate. So this is a little bit of a metaphor for how I think, which is, first of all, I'm afraid of not becoming useful. That was so being useful, because I grew up in a poor environment, and we heard the phrase, "we don't have enough" or "we can't afford it" was a common phrase in our house. And I always wanted to make sure, and I grew up where I wasn't good at anything. Okay,
Right.
I wasn't good at school at all. I didn't learn how to learn, and I didn't have mentors around me who taught me how to teach in the way that I understood.
Right.
I have to learn by doing. So I figured out everything by myself. I learned how to read early on, and I've always been interested in learning.
Right.
So to me, doing the one thing and feeling stability is not a driving, motivating force. But knowing that I'm useful and I can generate and never go backwards is. So some of this is a fear motivation, honestly. And
so that's kind of underneath, on an unconscious level.
Ice cream cone.
On an unconscious level, I forget the ice cream cone. That's driving you.
Yeah.
Right?
But I'm conscious of it now.
Okay.
So it's like I'm not driven by fear like I used to be. Now I've decided that I know that no matter what, I'm always going to be okay, and I'm always going to be able to offer my way out of a circance if I need to.
It's true. The beauty of the offer. I'm a one-trick pony on that one.
You're great that way. And so I love to learn, and so one of my drivers is I know, isn't that? But there's this great Steve Martin quote. This is a quick squirrel, but it's like he talks about how you're always fighting the straw like this. You're like doing that thing. Anyway, now look at the painting. By the way, that was the other squirrel. Now coming back to us.
She looks a lot better with teeth. I do need to
always.
say. Yes.
So moving forward, what is it that happens? I'm always thinking about how could I help the 5-year-old or the 15-year-old Mike, and I know there's a lot of people, either people who lost it all and had to reinvent, people who feel lost or feel like they're too old or they're useless, and transforming. So I always ground to, what if I had to start from scratch right now in an ever-changing world, and I had to show someone how to do it, including the young boy or the young girl who's scared and afraid, and know that it's repeatable. So I have a lot of confidence in teachers, or trust rather, in teachers who are actively in the dirt doing it all the time.
You know, for me, that's the difference between a coach and a mentor. Sometimes people ask me, should I call it a coaching program or a mentorship? And, you know, the coach can be, 300 pounds sitting on the stands, but naming great plays for the people on the field. I feel like the mentor's the one that's in there actually, on the field, getting their hands dirty, getting... And I see you more as a mentor in that regard.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
So
and you can coach people really well.
Yeah, thank you. And that's because I felt, growing up, inside I felt like I had all this possibility and potential, but I didn't know how to get it out. And no one saw who I thought I was. There was a mismatch there.
Do you get bored though? Is there a part of you that's like, I gotta, I just need to create something new? Is that it?
So I was explaining to a couple of my team members yesterday, and I just said, I realize now that if I'm not constantly creating, I will explode. And I've learned to embrace that. Okay.
Do you think?
That's really good. I mean, what a huge distinction.
It's a huge distinction, but you've been friends for a while. I think you would implode.
You're right.
The power of the mastermind that just happened right now.
Very profound. So thank you for that. Although Tia is guessing who this is. Look at how it's up. It's switching up right now.
Wow.
Tia Johnson says the painting is okay. All right. Hi, and Joel Kahn's in the house. Hey, brother. Nice to see you.
But I think it's important at some level. I think it's important at some level to be reinventing yourself in some way.
Well,
I mean, you're reinventing yourself in your personal life right now.
Well, I'm always reinventing in my business through staying engaged in the newest strategies. How do we reach people? Where's my tribe? What's the best way to serve them? We just put all of our service into new platforms that are the most modern way to deliver. But my known for, I call it.
Yes.
I just feel like I'm on my dime.
You dive deeper with it.
I love, and it's what I coach. Find your known for and stay there.
Yes.
I mean, if you're bored or you're not enjoying it, move. It's not your known for anymore, right?
Or you take your known for and you expand around it.
You can certainly, there's all kinds of verticals and things you can do. But I mean, I could take, for example, the invisible clothes, the irresistible offer, and we could go into
just open it up.
Chiropractors, into this and that. There's plenty. I feel like I've barely started, and I've been doing the same niche since 2009.
Yes.
And I still feel like it's barely started.
Right. And that's when you know you're on purpose. Too, right? Because
I call it being on your dime. Like for 25 years, Oprah was on her dime with that show, right?
Okay, look at David is finishing it up. All right, he just finished up jumping. And look at this. Unbelievable. Okay, so this is the other thing.
Look how beautiful that is.
Creates the halo.
Wow.
And,
look at that.
I was thinking that if he did me, he wouldn't have to jump as high because JJ's like 6 feet tall and I'm only 5'5". But I think
that's
jumping is part of the energy. He was telling me because I was
beautiful.
I was complimenting him on what he did for JJ.
It's gorgeous.
He said, the jumping and the energy, and he's listening to the voices.
But it's the energy,
the vibration, the frequency of the person.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
And I'm gonna give out another big shout out to David. And here's what's important is he's out there. He's raising money.
There it is.
Very nice. Beautiful job.
That was
David Garibaldi one more time.
Woo!
So
Hip, hip.
Lisa Sasevich, that is my gift to you.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Mike.
Mwah.
That is so
there we
amazing.
Go.
Very beautiful.
All right.
That's very beautiful.
What
a talent.
I have a question. So people in the chat,
Yes.
I really need to know this. I'm dead serious about this. What do you do with a large picture of yourself?